It's not just cricketers that fans out there adore and idolize. It's even those who talk about and analyze the game both during and after matches. Yes, I'm talking about those brilliant commentators that we get up close and personal with in our Activ Commentator segment. Now, as we look inside an Activ commentary box and explore our Activ commentators, I have a question for you. Can you imagine bonding or forming a bond with someone who's inflicted pain on you? Yes, I'm referring to physical pain. Your first reaction would be, no, impossible. Listen to this and you'll probably change your mind. Let me talk about one of our Activ commentators, Wasim Akram, a legend of the game, taken a million wickets in his time, but of course now enjoying describing the game to so many fans out there. This was an off day, and a quick background. We used to compete with each other in the commentary box in fantasy cricket. Now I can say my claim to fame was that I was actually beating Wasim Akram and so many of the other Activ commentators in the game of fantasy cricket. Nowhere else, but only on paper. Something Wasim Akram didn't quite appreciate. So one day on an off day he said, "You think you're very smart, aren't you? Beating me at fantasy cricket. What about in the real game? You think you could even come close?" I'm like, "Probably not." He didn't take no for an answer. He said, "Next session, tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. And that's exactly where we were, at the Gabba, the nets, the next day. One slight problem. I was looking for some protective gear and I didn't exactly have the full complement. I had the pads, I had the bat, I had the gloves, but I didn't quite have a chest guard because Anil Kumble hadn't turned up for the Indian team that day. So I had to do without the entire complement. But it was going to be an actual active challenge between commentator and commentator. He had ball in hand, I had bat in hand, and the first couple of deliveries were outside the off stump. I was safe. Then one came, a juicy half volley which I decided to drive beautifully through the covers. It was a fluke, but I'd seen it and I imitated it and it came off perfectly. Wasim Akram didn't like it at all. He was expecting to win this battle and win it hands down. So this was a bond that was starting to go a little bit wrong. So next thing I know, he switches from over the wicket to round the wicket, picks up a brand new red cherry in his hand, takes about 5 more steps extra and comes into bowl. I'm like, alright. If I've done well so far, I'm sure he's just going to be bowling it outside the off stump or bowl me a bouncer, make it look good, I'll duck and I'll say, okay, well done Wasim bhai. It was not. He bowled a bouncer at the rib cage, it came crunching in and I was down and out for the count. I didn't know what happened over the next 2 minutes. Protective gear wasn't in place, but then again, when it comes to an active challenge, I needed to be on my toes. I was on my toes, but I was on the ground very quickly. He came, he saw that I was alright. For a few seconds he thought, he's gone. But I was fine, and the one upside that came out of this entire challenge is it was a bond that we clung to for the rest of our lives. Certainly I did, and it was something we talk about forever. And it just shows that even with that physical harm, it's something when it's done in the bond of friendship and the Activ commentary box, it can lead to a lot of fun. The only regret was, when the pain subsided, the memories also subsided. No, that's not true. I've never forgotten it. Ready to get a bit active? Tell us who you think is the world's most active commentator in your opinion. How? Very simple. Get to Instagram, post a video, tag it @CastrolCricket with the hashtag ActivGram.